Coming up on Half Mile of Hell.
He was a good outrider. He's just performing like shit for me, that's all.
Don't push. No.
I just made him move over. You can't ram somebody over. I never did that.
Follow the guy behind. Like, stay back if you're going to be jackass at 100 miles an hour. Like, stay back so you don't kill somebody.
Come on, you guys.
Well, I don't know what they're going to use tonight for excuse, but someone's going to be gone here soon.
It's the West's original extreme sport. 4 horses hitched to a wagon, racing hell-bent for leather around a half-mile track. The stakes are high, and disaster is only a heartbeat away. These are the Cowboys, and these are their stories. So hang on tight, because you're about to ride the Half Mile of Hell.
Karen, your daughter-in-law decided she should have a baby today.
Sometimes they thought this day would never come. Chad and Dory Harden are finally having a baby. Through it all, the squeamish Chad has avoided doctor visits and skipped ultrasounds.
Hey, we're making progress, though.
We're making progress.
In the room.
He even vowed to miss the birth if he was racing.
Can you pull up the world standings?
WPCA.com.
And the draw for Ponoka.
9:56.
For once, Dory will get things her way.
It was perfect timing, actually, because he was there at the Ponoka Stampede and we hadn't started racing yet.
The only thing better would have been in winter months, but of course that didn't happen. So one of those things, life goes on.
She is 4 centimeters dilated. She was 3 when we started. She's progressing quite fast.
As Dory's contractions intensify, so does Chad's anxiety. It seems Chad may be there in body, but the spirit needs a little coaxing.
When the delivery happens, okay, you clamp the cord, and clamp, and get you to cut.
No, I can't.
You'll do just fine.
I can't watch it.
Huh?
Just don't like seeing my wife in pain or anybody in that type of pain. It's just not something you want to see every day, and not my cup of tea. I just can't handle it.
While Dory struggles with the delivery and Chad struggles with his nerves, the rest of the chuckwagon community makes camp in nearby Ponoka. The Ponoka Stampede is the 3rd richest event of the year, and all 36 drivers will be gunning to make the $50,000 dash for cash.
And they're off to a great start as Outriders get the game plan going. You're watching the 4 best wagons in the world right now. 4 wagons across the track. And a blistering pace as they set into the Half Mile of Hell. Wheel to wheel as they bang a little steel into that 3rd turn. Can he hang on? He's going to do it by a length, horse length, that is.
Getting there won't be easy. An outfit has to run clean and fast for 5 straight nights in order to qualify.
As long as you're penalty-free, that is the key to this sport, man, and these 6-day shows. Penalties, you know, that's what kills you.
Is he going to run on a racetrack?
To make it even tougher, the driver will have to do it with not 2, but 4 outriders at his heels.
A lot more chance for mayhem behind, and that's what makes it slightly more exciting.
More exciting and more dangerous.
The outriders are the same, you know, when you add 2 more outriders, it's 2 more guys to run over.
And with all that added mayhem, the risk of outrider penalties goes sky high. This is where the Sutherland investment in veterans like Rio King and Chance Vegan should pay off.
It's important for the driver to figure out, to match, first of all, the guys in position, select the strongest guys you can, put them in the right position, but mount them on the right horse. And if you've covered all them bases and old lady luck's with you, you're gonna probably get through penalty-free.
Easier said than done, 2 weeks ago, Chance Vegan was Rick Fraser's #1 outrider until the Sutherlands hired him away. It left Fraser in a tough spot that may well have crippled his shot at the world title. With a week to mull it over, Rick has come to a simple conclusion.
There's more to life than chuckwagon. When it's time to cash out, I'm not going to say, well, you know, bring one of my bronze trophies over and lay it by my bale and I cuddle with it. No. You'll want your family there. And the rest of it doesn't matter.
Geography could also play a part in Rick's jovial mood. This is Dorchester country, and Rick is among family.
Tonight's gonna be my first night, and then I'm feeling good, so I'm back at her and get going again.
Quinn Dorchester is Rick's cousin and a 2-time outriding champion.
Well, Rick's my cousin, right? So obviously we're friends, we're blood. I rode for Rick, yeah, in the past quite a bit. I rode for him all last year, year before, somewhat the year before that, but yeah, the last couple years steady for Rick.
Quinn's been away from the track this year, nursing a shoulder injury. Now that he has the go-ahead to ride, he'll be a welcome presence behind Rick's wagon.
Rick's good to work for. He's in it to win, very competitive, and he's a good one to be riding for if you want to win. He takes care of his animals and he can drive, so.
For a man who values family above everything, having Quinn in his corner is just what Rick needs. Unfortunately for Dory Harton, not only has Chad not been in her corner, he's barely set foot in the delivery room.
He was there, but further away from me than expected.
I love my children to death, and I love my wife, and the pain they go through having a baby, and just something I don't want to see nobody in that much pain.
Whoa, easy. Slow down. Whoa, don't push. 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 Whoa.
Okay.
At 12:23, Dory gives birth to their son. But a mother's joy quickly turns to concern.
Why isn't it crying? Boy. Why isn't it crying?
After a long and trying pregnancy, Dory Harton has given birth to a son. But something is wrong.
Why isn't it crying?
As the seconds tick past and no cries fill the delivery room, Dory grows anxious.
Why isn't it crying? Take this cloth off my head. Take this cloth off my head.
It's not ready yet.
Who's cut the cord?
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of time. Just cut right in between. Perfect. Still one. Look at that baby. Look at that baby. We have a healthy baby. Got it? A miracle baby. That's a miracle baby.
Barely 1 minute old, the Harton son already has a nickname, the Miracle Baby.
The umbilical cord was tied in a loose knot, and this was very shocking to the doctor, as if the knot would have been any tighter, we would not have this little miracle.
The knot gets tight, the baby loses all circulation. That's right, that's full.
The 4th generation of Harton chuckwagon drivers has luck on his side. The kind of luck his dad could use on the eve of the Ponoka Stampede.
All right.
Come up one more time. I'll put this on here.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
First outrider, right? You'll change it.
You have a miracle baby. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, I know.
As much as you were. We're proud of you. Who cares? Who cares?
You have a healthy baby.
Oh, you? Oh, no. Have you held him yet?
I think I might be at work. Oh, it's a little yawn.
It's day one of the Ponoka Stampede, the second biggest rodeo in Canada. Cowboys and cowgirls are here from around the world to rope, ride, and wrestle before a packed house.
We're going to pull him out of there. Horse okay, cowboy okay.
Rounding out the daily competition are the wagons of the World Professional Chuckwagon Association. It's a new game here on opening night. With the tent fly and poles added to the back of each wagon and the additional outriders, everyone has to adapt, especially the horses.
The horses aren't used to having those tent flies out, the tent pegs and the flies. The stove horses aren't. Even the old horses are going to react. So it's an added element of surprise and danger, I guess, to the show.
Outriders will do their best to ensure a clean ride. If they do their job right, nobody notices. Do it wrong, and there's no place to hide.
There's no excuses out there. Either you screwed up or you didn't. I mean, it's either the horse or you. And there's no both. It's one or the other, and that's the way outriding is.
In the sixth heat, Rick Fraser and Mark Sutherland set up. Mark is on barrel 1. Rick is on 4.
Good start for Mark Sutherland on that number 1 barrel. Outriders get the job done. Cowboys, here comes RTS. Rick Fraser on the outside. Mark Sutherland on the rails.
It's a flawless start for Rick. He outturns the field and hits the track with Mark in pursuit.
Third turn, the trailer along the railer is Barry Hudson. Ion brokerage as Rick Fraser. RTS Services smokes him around that 4th and final turn. Let her burn. Ricky is headed our way in a hurry. Rick Fraser up the middle of the track. Mark Sutherland with the light charge. Hasn't got the speed you need to take the lead away from Rick Fraser. Rick by 2. Mark Sutherland will be second. B&R Eccles, Doug Irvine third, and Ion.
It's a perfect first ride for Quinn. Rick will finish 6th on the night. Mark starts the event with a 3-second penalty for not having his poles and fly loaded. The mistake puts him 29th, a horrible start that could make the next 5 days an eternity.
They're off in a hurry. Good start right across the field. Kelly quick on the 1 barrel, matches strides with Tyler Helmig. Look at Jason Glass fly off the 4 barrel to the extreme outside of Chad Harding.
The rest of the night unfolds with average results. Chad Hardin has a clean run and finishes 12th on the day. In the 9th heat, Kelly Sutherland has his work cut out for him. His toughest competition is longtime rival Reg Johnstone on barrel 3 to Kelly's right. Reg has won Ponoka the last 2 years, and he holds the track record.
There's the horn, and they're off to a great start as Outriders get the game.
When the horn sounds, Kelly tries hard to outturn Reg and grab the coveted rail position. But Johnstone is faster, forcing Kelly to the outside.
You're watching the 4 best wagons in the world right now. Jerry Bremner up the middle ahead by a horse like me. They're leaders on the track as we let a little thunder roll for the kid that's having an awesome spring. Jerry Bremner, Reg Johnstone to challenge. Kelly Sutherland makes a move on the outside as Jerry Bremner opens him up another notch. Trailblazer RV and Jerry Bremner by a half. Reg Johnstone second, Kelly Sutherland third.
When the night is finished, Reg is 4th in the overall standings. Kelly is well back in 13th. By the end of day 5, Kelly will need to be in the top 4 to qualify for the sudden death dash for cash. In the Sutherland camp, the workforce has just increased by 2. After a long journey from Ontario, the new hands are put straight to work at the end of a pitchfork.
We got a ton of ambition anyways, huh?
Kelly's orientation is quick and to the point.
How are you doing?
Good. So far.
Nice to meet you, I'm Greg. Kelly's given me the nickname of Growler. Don't know why yet.
I'm Kelly.
Kelly, nice to meet you, Kelly.
Jason.
Nice to meet you.
Apparently my nickname is Zorro.
Welcome aboard. How's your guys' hearing? Good?
Very good.
Have you guys got running shoes?
Yeah, sure do.
When I get done screaming and hollering, they'll be wore out in about a month.
They're already worn out. Don't worry about that.
All right, boys. Have fun.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
You too.
All right.
Only time will tell if the new hands will work out and fit in with the rest of the crew.
One of you is sleeping in that blue liner there, in the sleeper, and one's getting shafted. No, and then this one here, so I don't know, maybe you should, let's rock, paper, scissors, or flip a coin or something.
Don't matter.
All right, well, that one there's got a lot of ice in it.
One thing is certain, with nearly half the season remaining, it's a long time to be miserable if they can't get along.
These other two kids fit in well. Whenever you meld a bunch of men together, you know, it can take its toll, especially if they start getting tired. So I hope, you know, I always tell them, the three main guys, if you run anybody out of here, it's just more work for you. So figure it out, boys, you know.
The Outriders are onto the track right now. That means the wagons can't be far behind.
On night number 2, Mark Sutherland looks to recover from his disastrous start. At 29th in the show, he's a long shot to qualify for the dash. But with pride and day money on the line, there's every reason to try. In the same heat, Rick Fraser needs another good run to improve on his 6th place position. On the number 1 barrel, it's his best shot of the week.
Right there. Whoa. Horn sounds, and they're off in a hurry. Mark Sutherland quick on that number 2 barrel. Swamp Donkey Oil Field is the high-tech redneck scoops their field. Gets them out in front with RTS and Rick Fraser right on the inside.
Right off the start, Fraser is handed a 2-second penalty when an outrider hits a barrel. But Sutherland fares better. Tonight, Mark's outriders get the job done. He leaves the infield penalty-free and flies onto the track with Fraser on the inside.
Ponoka sunset may come. Mark Sutherland dueling it out with Rick Fraser in a blistering heat. Mark Sutherland turns up the pace. Mark Sutherland and Swamp Donkey Oil Field Services will get this one by a horse length. Rick Fraser will be second.
He moved at the third turn, though. It got tight there. A little bit wide, but I headed them guys. I don't know if Ricky hit his barrel or his outriders did. He was just had his lead team in there, so sort of set up, quit charging, and Rick really made a jump on me. But there's some WestJet blue on there. Just a little poke in the spokes. No harm, no foul. Outriders are clean. We'll be making some money.
Mark Sutherland had a running time of 1:15.84, but he picked up 1 second for a late outrider, brought him up to
For the second straight day, penalties will spoil a terrific run. Without them, Mark's time would have put him 3rd on the night. Clearly, mistakes are proving costly for the young driver. In the next heat, Chad Harden fares no better. When the horn goes, one of his outriding horses bolts. The result is chaos.
Quick for Chad Harden, perhaps looking to fly all 4 around the top. Jason Glass off the 1 barrel. Buddy Bensmiller right long and in behind off the 2 barrel. Tyler Helmig tucks in behind Buddy Bensmiller. Chad Harden matching strides with him as they head out of that first and second turn. 2 outriders just leaving town now as we get him into that backstretch drive. Half to the wind as Cox pile riding and Jason Glass roll in by 2 over Buddy Bensmiller. Chad Harden will be 3rd and Tyler Helmig, GDF hydrovac specialist, roll in to be more than 80. Number 7.
6 seconds in penalties push Chad to 34th on the day. He free-falls 19 spots in the overall average. Chad's quest for the Ponoka title is over. The Outriders join Chad to debrief on the incident and discuss possible solutions.
I didn't want to come forward and lose fight and everything, so I'm trying to fight him, twist my wrist, and I couldn't. He just come across.
What do you want to do for the morning?
I wouldn't use that son of a bitch again.
Did the stove go in? Yeah, the stove went in. I think so. I went like this. Just through and...
You only cost me one, man cost me 5, so...
Tomorrow, Chad will regroup and try to salvage something from this show.
Barrel number 1, sitting 13th, the multi-time winner of this show, Kelly Sutherland.
If there's any night to put together a big run, this is it. Kelly Sutherland has the first barrel position. Reg Johnstone is across the infield on 4. As long as Kelly gets the rail, it should be smooth sailing.
Horn sounds and they're off as stones and poles go in. Outriders mount up and here comes the bash off. Flash to lead, the dash to the wire. Reg Johnstone streaks to the lead with Kelly Sutherland, Neil Rosenbaum, Jerry Brimmer in hot pursuit. Head for the rail, Reggie. Tuck him in. How many times have I seen this in 40 years right here? Kelly Sutherland and Reg Johnstone dueling it out all the way around the racetrack. The lead by a horse like with Dover Energy. Reg Johnstone on the outside of him. I've got a picture in my collection of Kelly driving and Reg outriding to the wire with their wheels on fire. Here comes Reg with a late charge. Can he get there? He's got 20 yards to decide. Kelly will hang on by a nose. Reg will be second. Jerry Brenner third. And Neil
Kelly gets the win and the second fastest time of the night, edging Johnstone by only 8/100ths of a second. The victory puts Kelly 6th overall, 2 spots shy of the 4th and final qualifying spot for the sudden death heat and the $50,000 dash. They've had a whole 24 hours to get the lay of the land, and the new Sutherland barn hands have found a home on the chuckwagon circuit.
It's only my second day, but I'm loving it.
I haven't really had a chance to sit down with a lot of these guys. Just been too busy.
You work hard, you play hard, so I guess that's what chuckwagon racing's all about.
Finally, there's peace and a sense of camaraderie in the Sutherland barns. At the hospital, it's time for the Hartons to take their son home. Yet, after 2 days, he still doesn't have a name.
Chad, you had 9 months to tell me a name, and...
It's up to you. You make the call. I did all of our hard work in this, so you can make the name.
We know how much hard work you did.
Tanner. And her ass, Tanner Harden. Rub me.
Rub me hard. What about Dawson? You don't like Dawson?
I don't care. Remington Xander. You know how you get Xander? Denim. Dawson Denim.
Tell your dad to pick a name for you.
Okay, you can have Dawson Chadwick. You can have your way.
My way. I don't know if he's happy about it or not. Are you a Dawson? Yeah. Anyway.
Suits him, I can tell. This thing right now.
Okay, Dawson Chadwick, let's go home. Oh, see? He likes that name.
They'll be after each other tonight. 4 wagons in each.
With too many penalties from nights 1 and 2, both Rick Fraser and Mark Sutherland would like nothing more than a clean ride. Mark has altered his lineup. Dale Gray will now hold the leaders. Chance Vegan moves to the back of the wagon.
Horn sound, stones and poles go in. Outriders mount up, because here comes Rick Fraser, Mark Sutherland, and Doug Irvine all across the track with Barry Hutch and I.M.I. Brooklyn casting his face in the figure 8, but look out in front. It's the high-tech redneck. You feel the hot breath of the lead team of Rick Fraser breathing down. He sets him into the home stretch drive. Ponoka, it's your turn to come alive. Mark on the inside. Here comes Doug Irvine and Rick Fraser up the middle to challenge. I think Ricky's going to test him, but Mark Sutherland, can he hang on? Ricky by a nose. Mark Sutherland second.
The excitement of the nose-to-nose finish is reflected in the standings. Mark and Rick boast the third and fourth fastest times of the night. Just the sort of ride both drivers need to restore confidence in their teams and themselves.
Tonight we had a really good clean run, and you know, it jumped us up in the average a little bit. I'd sure like to make that heat for my grandfather and for our family.
Fifth place. They call it the crying hole. And that's where Rick sits after 3 nights.
Mark Sutherland took third.
Good.
Despite his blistering run, Mark is still 23rd.
Thanks, buddy.
In the 7th heat, it's Chad's turn to take advantage of the #1 barrel position.
The horn sounds and heat number 7 for Gould's pumps explodes through the barrel positions. Buddy Bensmiller on the 3-barrel.
Chad gets the start he needs. Jason Glass is quicker, but the riderless horse next to Chad's wagon is Jason's.
The track now shows Jason Glass. Cops pile driving. The checkerboard's out in front. Now the 80 might have a shot at it again as it heads for the wire. Messes accompanied by 2. Chad Harden on the inside second. Buddy Bensmiller third by a horse length. And Hydrovac GPS
Chad finishes second to Jason with a top 5 run. When Chad gets back to the barns, he picks up his running time from the radio broadcast.
What happened for times in Heat 7? Looking like this. Here's your running times. Heat 7, Buddy Bensmiller.
As soon as Chad hears the first name, he knows he has a penalty.
Chad Harden had a 1:15.92, 2 seconds, because an outrider knocked over a barrel.
Come on, you guys.
1:17.92, 1:17.
So I don't know what they're going to use tonight for excuse, but pisses the guy off. The team's got to pull it together and start doing their job, or someone's going to be gone here soon.
Stopped by Kelly Sutherland on the inside rail with Cobra Energy, and he is moving.
In the final heat of the night, it's another tight race between Reg Johnstone and Kelly Sutherland. Johnstone beat Sutherland yet again.
That was one of the scariest barrel turns I've ever made.
But there's good news for Kelly in the standings. Penalty-free racing has put him in the top 4.
He sits third at 3:50 and 34, so 3:50, 3:4 for Kelly Sutherland, 51.09 for the 30.
Moved up to third, so that's all right. Didn't have a real big run tonight, but they were solid. They run hard.
After 3 nights, Kelly and Rick remain in the hunt for the Ponoka title. 2 more nights of racing will determine who's in that final 4. On the morning of day 5, the infield is taken over by a new group of wagons. Though the horsepower may be questionable, the excitement is genuine.
They recruit a bunch of cowboys and their families to come in and spend some time with the kids. They got little chuck wagons that they pull the kids around in. The firefighters usually do that. You know, we run them pretty hard.
This is the Special Needs Rodeo, an annual event during the Ponoka Stampede.
Are you going to ride a horse today, too?
Yeah. I think this is the best showing we've had so far. If it's at least half of our wagon drivers and some probably half of the outriders as well.
It's a way for us to give back to the community a little bit for what we got. If you really look hard, we're all living our dream. There's not many people that can say that.
It's just good to be here and be able to see all the kids' smiles. It just touches your heart.
They're hooked on wagons, so yeah, you know, it's neat. It certainly makes you, appreciate everything, because these kids are just happy to, just to be out here and ride a wooden bull. So, it just makes you feel good.
it's wonderful, wonderful feeling. They're able to touch our hearts.
Smile. Let's see a big smile. That's it. Good one.
It's night number 4. For Mark, it's time to pull his team together and find a groove. The biggest payday of the season is only a week away, and if he hasn't got things sorted out by then, it'll be 10 days of misery. Rick Fraser is 5th in the average, just outside the top 4 and a spot in the sudden death dash. Another clean run will get him one step closer to claiming the prize, named after his grandfather, Tommy.
There's a horn in the rock. Great start for the guy himself, Mark Sutherland. Swamp Donkey Oil Field Services streaks to the lead. And
Mark gets an incredible start and leads the field through the first turn.
IMI Brokerage, but they can't catch that kid down the backstretch. Mark Sutherland, he is ahead by about 3.5 wagon lengths.
Rick Fraser is well back with the other wagons. As he runs along the backstretch, Mark looks for his outriders. Both Dale Gray and Chance Vegan are caught in the pack, and there may not be enough track for them to catch up.
Yeah, they're there. They're there, boys.
Into the home stretch, outrider Chance Vegan waves Mark on, assuring his driver that they'll be there.
Yellow shirts to relax his nerves a little bit. They're not going to catch the Grand Prairie Skinner. Mark Sutherland and Swamp Donkey Oil Field blows them away by 2.5. B&R Eccles with Doug Irvine, IMI Brokerage with Barry Hodgson, and RTS with Rick Fraser.
Well, it's not very often you see a wagon win by that much, but Mark was pulling them up, waiting for his outriders. He was going that fast.
Too bad, because that could be a track record, and even with his pulling, it still might be a track record time. We'll just have to wait and find out.
Mark returns to the barns to celebrate his blistering time, the fastest of the night.
Mark Sutherland, Swamp Donkey Oilfield Services, had a running time of 1:14.73. We're cracking him 1:14s, but he picked up 1 second because an outrider didn't quite make the trip.
But news comes that Dale Gray was late, and Mark's great time is nullified. This time, Mark shoulders the blame.
Comes back to management, that's all. I just up again. I told the boys to be ready. I was going to make a run, and they were ready. Dale never made a mistake on that horse. I didn't give him the horsepower he needed to keep up with me, and it cost me because I pulled at least half a second trying to let him get there, and he just didn't have the horsepower, and I won't make that mistake in Calgary, though.
In the Fraser camp, the dream of winning the Tommy Dorchester Memorial Championship is over. At 30th on the day, Rick slides out of the top 10. He'll race for pride and points from here on.
With all the speed you need to take the lead, can he get it done? Buddy and Tyler in that order. Chad Harden third and Jason Glass.
In Chad's heat, a quick glance over his shoulder brings more disappointment.
Lose campus right off. Hi, Sean. How was your trip, buddy?
Seen the outrider going into the fourth corner. It looked like he was a little bit back, but I thought he caught me, but obviously he was late by lots, so. Another day, another penalty.
Rex Johnstone and Kelly Sutherland and Neil Wolgenbach match strides into the first turn. Lash could beat to that rail as they round that second turn. Right up alongside of Rex Johnstone by half a length. Running second, here comes the feather. Kelly Sutherland makes a move. Rex Johnstone by a nose. Jerry Bremner.
In the final heat of the night, Reg Johnstone once again outruns Kelly Sutherland and cruises to his third victory in 4 nights. They now sit 1 and 2 in the overall standings. Reg with almost a 2-second lead on Kelly through the first 4 nights. Now that the drivers have completed their 4-barrel rotation, a redraw tonight will shake up the heats. If Kelly and Reg race together again, it won't be until the final day. A showdown between the reigning world champion and the most decorated chuckwagon driver in history begins to build. But it could be a careless mistake that costs Kelly his shot at the dash. It's day 5 of the Ponoka Stampede, and everyone is seeing pink. Today is Tough Enough to Wear Pink Day in support of breast cancer research.
What it is a portion of the profits that are made off these pink shirts that we are selling to our stores gets donated back to the breast cancer foundations of whose ever choice of the rodeo committee or of wranglers, whoever it goes to.
Well, I think it's very important, especially for cancer awareness and for the community, just to get behind it. The more you look around, the more you hear stories from every family.
I feel really proud that, that everybody's getting together and doing this.
Leslie McCleve has been a chuckwagon judge for 6 years. 3 years ago, she was diagnosed with and treated for breast cancer.
I wear pink every single day. At least I try and wear pink every single day because this is such a worthwhile cause. Everybody's pitching in and everybody wants to do this.
The support shows among the chuckwagon community. Pink is everywhere, even where it shouldn't be.
Plan to go out to the racetrack and then take off my race coat and run with my pink shirt for the cause, for cancer. Great cause.
The only candidate to win both the pony and the Ponoka Chuckwagon Championship. Look at Chad. There goes the white shirt. I'm thinking pink tonight, too.
To the approval of the crowd, Chad Harden pulls off his white racing jacket. Possibly the first time in chuckwagon history that a cowboy has dared to race in pink. Chad Harden is a full second faster than the nearest wagon. His best time in Ponoka. Fraser finishes well back in 3rd.
I should have worn this pink shirt 3 days ago. Good job.
While the thought is noble, the rules say a wagon driver must wear his jacket. Chad is written up by the judges.
Hopefully I can convince them maybe if I pay the fine, I can just donate it straight to the Cure for Cancer. I don't know, it worked out, the pink shirt tonight, changing my momentum and changing my luck, I guess. So might have to use it tomorrow night too, just to see. I'll take the fine every night and just keep donating it to cancer.
Chad escapes the fine. He'll live with the pink blot on his record. Though his results on the track were disappointing, he leaves Ponoka with one more family member and hundreds more fans.
I never did nothing. I could see if I did something.
In the Fraser camp, Rick is on a tear.
And you can do that. I wasn't even within 2 feet of the guy. I just made him move over. You can't ram somebody over. I never did that. But you can ease him down.
He's been tagged with a wagon interference penalty, a hit that'll cost him 10 places in the day's standings. Rick posts a $500 bond and protests the call. If he wins, the penalty is dropped and the money is returned. If he doesn't, the check is cashed and the penalty sticks. The redraw has Kelly Sutherland racing against Jason Johnstone, Reg's son. As they practice their barrel turn before the race, Jason misses his line and comes in too close to Kelly. Sutherland's lead horses collide with Jason's wagon. After the race, Kelly is livid.
Right up here in the chest of my horse. Get that doggone done. Move. Come on, get with it. Come on, stretch. Hold that. And get up to the front. Go to the back end, Zorro, and undo the horse.
While the new barn hands cower beneath the wrath of the king, Kelly heads off to pay Jason Johnstone a visit.
I got two $25,000 horses, and because you're acting like a jackass in my lane in a practice turn, no less. Well, use your head. Like, why are you following me in like 100 miles an hour?
I was freaking trying to pull him down.
Pull him down going in. Use your head. You've drove long enough. I have respect for him, but I mean, he's got to understand. He's got to get a message, because I mean, he'll end up having a wreck, you know. I've done a lot of stupid things in my life too, and I had guys my age come over, and you know, most of them wanted to give me a licking. They didn't want to talk, but at least, you know, I'm past that stage.
In Mark Sutherland's heat, it's a bad day to be an outrider.
Mark Sutherland on two. Sound of the horn. Mark Sutherland started so quick. His outriders got a hustle, and here comes Ray Crotto Jr. and Jason Glass from the outside.
For the second time in Ponoka, he suffers the embarrassment of dragging his poles around the track on a run that would have put him in the top 3.
Mark Sutherland swapped off the Oilfield Services Limited. He had a running time of 1:15.72, but he picked up 3 seconds, 1 for his fly dragging and 2 seconds for both poles dragging, brought him up to 1:18.
Back at the barns, outrider Rio King goes from hero to 0 in no time flat.
Rio's a good outrider. He's just performing like shit for me, that's all. Like, it's simple. No good for nothing. He's I'm gonna bust that out. He can go back to class.
He's take him by himself and then tell him, like, are you gonna party? You're gonna be a useless then you might as well have stayed in California, because we brought you because you're the best, but you're something like that. Like, get your head out of the pail, man. Be a man.
So great to see him.
I daylighted those guys. I outturned them by miles and outran them and wasted an entire good run, actually.
Mark waits for an explanation, but outriders are scarce tonight. No one comes around. Meanwhile, race director Ray Crotto has good news for Rick.
Here's money. Yeah.
I won?
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Yes. Finally.
What did you go?
Finally.
2 seconds in the first call. That's the first one I never donated to.
In a season that hasn't had a lot of bright spots, Rick Fraser will leave Ponoka with his smile on his face and a clear head. When the final results are announced, emotions are put on simmer. Kelly is in the dash.
For Kelly Sutherland, and still the #1 guy as he's been since night #3. It's Reg Johnstone, 2-time defending champion, looking for the hat trick.
We'll change that tomorrow.
Who knows, by golly, you might even get one back in return. Let me ask you, are you ready to have a good...
It's the final day of the Ponoka Stampede, a show that has seen the highs and lows of wagon racing. It all comes down to a sudden death showdown to see who will pocket the lion's share of the $50,000 final heat. The heats roll by fast and furious. It's down to the final 2. Mark will run in Heat 8, Kelly in 9. Outrider Rio King will ride for both Sutherlands. He may have helped Kelly get to the championship dash, but he's been a huge disappointment for Mark. And Rio knows it.
I don't know what happened at a 4-outrider show. There's just so much that can happen if everything is not just right.
There's no drama. He didn't get the job done. He thinks it wasn't his fault, I guess. Thinks the horses started too hard, or...
All it takes is one horse not paying attention or moving around back there, and when you're throwing them pegs, you gotta throw them hard, and you gotta throw them right with the other guy, otherwise they're not gonna get loaded.
In his final test before the Calgary Stampede, Mark expects big things from Rio and his outriding team. For the second straight night, Mark's pegs drag behind his wagon.
I really don't know what to do with these outriders. I don't know what happened. I'm speechless for the first time.
One statistic may be the most painful. If not for the outrider penalties, Mark would have finished second in the aggregate and qualified for the final dash.
Championship dash for Cassius.
And the number is... What do you know? Number 1. How many times...
Even though Kelly Sutherland draws the all-important barrel 1 position, it's no guarantee of a win.
Did this in 1999.
We need.
To the wire, and today we're
Got to get the job done. You got to make a solid start and turn. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Things got to work perfect, and I got it won. I rerun the race in my head, rerun the race all the way up. There's not going to be anybody in there that trying any harder than I will. I mean, nobody.
Melville, you said at the outset, Reg Johnstone, world champion and two-time defending Ponoka Stampede champion Kelly Sutherland.
The final heat features 4 drivers who've all won in Ponoka. Jerry Bremner, Grant Profit, Reg Johnstone, and Kelly.
I do not say anything about the King because it's all being said before. Grant Profit and, of course, Jerry Bremner, 2 of the very best.
In this race, mistakes will be measured in thousands of dollars, not seconds. In this race, outrider penalties are not acceptable.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. There's a hole in the Tommy Dorchester $50,000 cash for cash explodes from the infield. Kelly Sutherland is raced out of there. Grant Profit and Red Johnstone take things to the early. Grant Profit up the middle ahead by a neck. Red Johnstone, United Petroleum Distributors on the outside, and now they're 3 of them right even Steven. Rain to rain like a runaway train. They roll into that 3rd turn. Like a little steel, they go at it wheel to wheel. Kelly Sutherland on the inside. Red Profit in the Jaco. Sutherland doing it out with Red Profit. Jerry Bremner trying to get some running room. Fred's in the middle on the rail. Kelly Sutherland is ahead by a half a right length. All the King's horses and all the King's men, and Kelly Sutherland does it again. Cover energy. Jerry Bremner 2nd, Grant Profit 3rd, and Reg Johnstone rolls into be 4th. In the Dorchester, $50,000 dash for cash.
Kelly Sutherland and his team of Dale Gray, Rio King, Chance Vegan, and David Bensmiller take the Ponoka title. It's just the boost Kelly needs going into the richest payday of the year, the $100,000 GMC Rangeland Derby.
How could you make such a piss poor turn and win a wagon race? Isn't that something? When you're hot, you're hot. I know he was, and then I made him wait up here because I didn't want to get outrun, man. He gave me shit, dude. He says, you were off the rail. He says, stay off there.
I've been wagon racing long enough to know that you barely get one of these types outfits put together, let alone 2 in a year. And when you have 2 outfits like this in a year, it's like, Dad, you're leading the world. And you know, if it weren't for my bad start down Grand Prairie in that wreck, I'd be right up there. And I'm happy with these 2 outfits, and I really don't know what to do with these outriders. I got some good guys back there. I don't know what the hell they're doing. They're riding with their head up their ass. I know that.